Good afternoon and welcome to the October edition of VRM Insider. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to join us. I see the participants coming in the room now. Hope that you guys are having a wonderful fall afternoon. There's a terrible glare on my glasses. Maybe I will take those off for you guys so you don't have to look at the glare on my glasses. All right. So today we are going to be diving into talking about some email marketing. That has been our theme for the entire month of October. We have been focused on email marketing and sharing some really useful tips and tricks and some free resources with all of you through the entirety of this month. And we're kind of wrapping that up here at the end of October with a webinar that's dedicated to I'm not sure which way your screen will look, 7 of the ways that your business can use email marketing to just improve your business all around, communicate with guests, and we're going to dive into that here in just a second. If you do have a question today, I am flying this webinar solo, so try to drop it in the chat. I may not see it right away, but I will definitely come back at the end, stop sharing my screen, and then be able to look at any questions that you have. But feel free to ask them along the way. I just may not be able to toggle back and forth between the two. We are recording this session, so it will be available for replay. You'll be able to find that directly in your inbox, or you can find it on the admin console in the memo section, or you can find it on our blog. So lots of ways that you can find the replay information. And just before we jump into the actual webinar content, on behalf of Lauren and Michelle, I just want to thank everybody who's been attending the Back to the Basics webinar and the classes that they've been offering. That's been super successful. They will be starting back up again the first week of November, which is next week. Can you believe it? And so be sure to be looking out for the registration information for November's Back to the Basics webinar. All right, I am going to go ahead and share my screen with all of you. So just bear with me just a second. You're going to get to see a lot of messiness. So this is the first thing I want to show you guys. This is actually just virtualresortmanager.com, and you can see there that slider, that first slider that was there. That is a place where you can go and you can access those freebies that I just was talking about. So we had the month of September, we focused on reputation management, and then you can see as it starts to slide around again, you'll see the email marketing content. So you can just go there and click on that Learn More button. There'll be a little bit of information for you to fill out, and you'll actually get both of those pieces of content directly to your inbox. Or if you'd like the reputation management, you can grab those too. All right, 7 ways to use email marketing for your vacation rental business. So this is actually one of those freebies that we designed. We curated that here at the marketing department at VRM. We made this just for you. This is information that we gained out of our marketing services to several of our email marketing clients. And the reason I'm showing this to you today in this webinar is because I want to show you with real numbers that email marketing is not dead. I have heard that multiple times. Well, email marketing is a thing of the past. And I am here to say absolutely it is not. One of the amazing things that each and every one of you listening or watching this has is you already have an email list. If you have past guests, which I'm guessing you do, you already have an email list to use in which to use for email marketing. And in email marketing, that's a big part of the battle is just getting qualified emails, and you already have it. It's amazing. So in today's webinar, we are going to be talking mostly about using that existing email list for past guests to reach out to. But it doesn't mean that you couldn't use some of these same tactics, to reach out to guests maybe from other email lists that you might have or that you may have sourced elsewhere that aren't your previous guest. So what we're looking at right now, this is just a little thing, like I said, we put together a little infographic, and it asks the questions, not sure if email marketing is right for your vacation rental company. Well, you know what? The numbers don't lie. Check out these 2 cases at VRM Marketing where our clients have used our services, and this is some of the success that they have seen. So this is client A is on the left-hand side in red. So in the months of December 15th, 2020, which I don't know if you guys remember 2020 or not, to December 15, 2021, so in 1 year's time, client A sent 10 marketing emails. So over the course of those 12 months, they sent a total of 10 emails using our marketing services. Those email marketing campaigns yielded 37 transactions. You asked me, Tracy, well, how do you know it yielded 37 transactions? We're going to get to that in a minute, but basically there is a way to track where bookings were originated and the revenue that is attached to that. So in an email marketing campaign, we can add special tags or trackers to links. And if somebody clicks on that link from within that email, and then they go all the way through the booking process, even if they come back later and go through the booking process, we can see that that originated from the clicking inside of an email. So that is what you're looking at here, those 37 transactions. And those 37 transactions, now according to Google Analytics, this is not a 100% solid number, but we're in the ballpark. That yielded a revenue of $99,829.75. Which I don't know about you, but that's pretty close to 100K in my book. So 37 transactions, almost 100K in revenue, which we understand that that's not total profit. So then client A paid the email marketing service fee of about $37.80, so around $3,800 for those 12 months. So we are not mathematicians. I do not run ROI numbers. That's not part of my job. I'm not very good at it. But you can see it doesn't take a math or a scientist to figure out that that's a pretty darn good return on their investment. Now, if we look at client B over on the other side of your screen, it's a little bit of a shorter time range. We're really looking at just over a month. So from January 11th, 2020 to February 8th, 2022, I'm sorry, I said 2020. January 11th, 2022 to February 8th, 2022, client B sent 0 emails. Was kind of in between. There was an issue getting an email out, and so we were a little delayed. That can be for multiple reasons. Just if you ever use marketing services, it could be because there was an editing process that got hung up, or we didn't get approval back from the client. I don't even know what the case was. I don't remember, but we didn't send anything, and we have a clear history of that. So we sent 0 emails during that time frame. But client B still netted 6 transactions from previous emails that were sent before that time period, with a revenue total of $15,686. They paid an email marketing service fee of $300 for that 1 month, and then their regular email was sent out on February the 8th, or sent out after. And so just a few days later, after that 1 month period that we were looking at, their monthly email was sent out just a few days later. So why do we pull client B as an example? Because it's a great example of that. Your older emails that you send continue to live on. People continue to search for them in their inbox. They open it, they click on it, and they go back through it. And after we dive into some of these 7 ways, you'll see some of the reasons why they will go back to emails and open them, and you've given them ways to navigate their way back to your website. So without further ado, let's dive into those 7 ways. All right, so here is number 1. And I have no idea of where my picture is showing up, and I should probably just turn it off, but I don't want to do that. I will lose your screen, so I won't do that. All right, way number 1 is send out owner emails and newsletters. So you have information that regularly needs to be communicated with your owners. That might be something that needs to happen on a monthly basis. It may be something that needs to happen on a quarterly or a biannual basis. That's really up to you. But the fact is that there's information that needs to get to all of your owners. Well, I have great news. You have a way within the VRM admin console to pull all of your current owners. So you can go in, you can pull a list that has their email address attached to it. You can design an email or a newsletter and send it out to your updated owner list. What are some of the kinds of information that you can send them? Well, you have deadlines and important specific information that needs to get out. Maybe that looks like linens, maybe about cleaning or supplying their own linens. It could be about their owner reservation dates. It could be updated policy and owner agreements. We're coming up on tax season. Maybe there's some tax information you need to get out. You could have a message from your manager or managers or their owner or your owner representatives. Who do they get in contact with? Maybe you have a new staff member. and you want to provide that information to your owners. Maybe there's some housekeeping or winterizing information that needs to get out to all of your owners. Maybe you just want to present some pictures of the staff. Hey, you know, here's a gift basket that owner so and so dropped off to us. We're so thankful for our owners. Right now we're on the holidays. Tell them how thankful you are for them and how much you appreciate their business and how you're looking forward to continue working with them. So holiday information. Maybe there's information about your town or your municipality where that you need to update them. So there's all kinds of information that you need to communicate with your owners. And one of the ways that you can do that is by a nice, curated, branded newsletter. All right, so let's go on to number 2. Maybe if I can click the screen. All right, survey says, just kidding. One of the other ways that you can communicate with your guests is through surveys. It's such a great way to put a survey in a newsletter or an email and then get information back. So you can ask questions to your guest or your owners. You could say, hey, you guys stayed with us in you stayed with us in 2020, and we're really thankful for your business, but we're taking a short poll from all of our guests from this past year because we just want to know how overall your experience was, and maybe you ask them about whether they would have purchased a concierge basket, or if they would have liked to have been offered a paddleboarding reservation or something like that. So this is a great way to get information back from your guests through surveys, polls, asking Q&As. You could design a form for them to fill out, say like in Google Docs or Google Forms, and have them fill out that information. That way you can start to improve your business in a way that's direct information from the most valuable asset that you have, which is your previous guest, right? That's money in the bank. If you can get them to come back, that's amazing. They're vetted, meaning they already believe in your business. They already bought from you once, and you want to hear from them ways that you can improve your business. All right. Next up, so this should be number 3. What's another way you can reach out to your guests using email marketing? Well, it's targeted blasts. This to me is something that's extremely underutilized. It is such an easy way for you to narrow down who it is specifically that you are speaking to. So let's use, for example, we're in fall right now. On the coast, that means we have really great fall fishing. The weather is still fabulous. In the mountains, the leaves are turning colors. It's just a wonderful time to travel. People are going to be traveling for the holidays soon. So let's say you want to pull a report of if there's an email marketing campaign report, and you can pull a list of past guests who have stayed with you previously. But one of the great things about that report is that you can narrow it down to the people who stayed between this date and this date, and then you can exclude anyone who already has a reservation during this date and this date. So you could send out an email to a group of people who stayed with you, let's say last year in the months of between today's date in October and the end of November, or maybe the end of December, just depending on what range. Then you can say, but don't exclude anyone who already has a reservation during that same date range for this year, because you obviously don't want to send an email to someone who's already booked, especially offering like a special. That would be a big no-no because they're going to want the special deal, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we filter those people out. We pull that report and we say, hey, it's been a year since your last fall trip with us, right? So there hasn't been another fall since last year. So we can safely say it's been a year since your fall 2021 trip, and we'd really love to invite you back. Or you could also pull lists from fall 2021, 2020, 2019, and you could just say, these people through these years historically have stayed in the fall, and we want to reach out to them again because they haven't booked yet for this fall, and invite them to return back. And you can curate the email to say that and to reflect the message that you want to convey. If you we have a client who we do a beach anniversary email for. That is a super fun. Every month we send out a targeted email for them, and we say, "Hey, it's been a year since your last vacation. Come back and join us again." And so it's not even we're not deleting anybody out. We're just recognizing it's kind of like their 1 year beach anniversary. Even if they've stayed since then, we're not discounting that. We're just saying it's been 1 year since your October 2021 vacation. We just can't wait till you're back with us again, whenever that is. Offering those targeted emails, those targeted reminders, and targeted specials is a great way to reach out to those repeat guests. All right. Our next way that we can use email marketing is through reporting and tracking. So I alluded to this a little bit earlier when I showed you the comparison of client A and client B. So we can use tools that are out there like Google Analytics. This webinar is not long enough for me to go into a full tutorial of Google Analytics, and I probably even wouldn't be the one on our team most qualified to do that. But you can use Google Analytics, and if you don't have anybody on your team that knows how to use Google Analytics in order to track the traffic that's coming to your website, then that may be another just kind of flag for you that perhaps our email marketing services or an email marketing service is right for you, and when we're talking about this specific subject. Google also has something called a UTM tracker, and that's what we use on our emails that we send. When I talked to you earlier about how we track those emails so we can actually see where they originated, what button was clicked on that led, or what link was clicked on that led the user all the way through the booking process to the booking moment. But it's going to track more than just all the way through to the booking. It does track that, but it also is going to track just how many people clicked on that link and took you back to certain pages. If you had an email and one button said, maybe you were featuring this beautiful oceanfront, 6-bedroom with a pool, and you offered that in your email, but you also offered a 2-bedroom discounted condo, and you sent that out to a specific list, and you saw that way more people clicked on the condo. And so it can give you back analytics that are going to give you clues into your clients' or guests' buying habits and what it is exactly they're looking for. So if I was looking at that email in that example and said, okay, a whole lot of people clicked on the button for the rental condo that was on special, and it's smaller, it's not oceanfront, maybe it's several rows back, but that's going to tell me that's what people are looking for. That list that I sent that email to, those people are looking for that because I had such a higher click-through rate on that button. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that same email list and I'm going to send them an email that only has that kind of property. Then that way they can see, here's what you were looking for, so here's more of it, right? Makes total sense. But it takes time to go back through and do those analytics and that analysis. So like I already said, who clicked on what and where those bookings originated. So fantastic tools that are out there to use to be able to analyze your email marketing a little bit better and to create a more targeted strategy. All right, this is probably one of my favorite things to use in emails, and those are featured blog posts or your web pages. Whenever you are sending an email, which to me is like delivering something to somebody's front door. As I mentioned at the top of the webinar, I have heard people say through the years, "Oh, email marketing is dead." Well, I'd like personally, I know you guys can't show me your hands, but a virtual show of hands or just a, I don't know, behind the scenes show of hands, when the last time you checked your personal email was. And my guess is it probably hasn't been very many days. Most people still check their email every single day, their work email and their personal email. And so it is a way to put something in front of someone. Now, do you have emails that you automatically delete or you just kind of glance over them? Well, yes, I'm sure that you do. And that's where the negative part of email marketing or the negative kind of association with email marketing comes in. So to that end, I do want to say a couple of things. number one, please don't ever spam people with email marketing. Nobody likes spammy email. But there's also nothing wrong with staying top of mind, and that's why email marketing is so powerful. It's such an easy, inexpensive way to stay top of mind with your guest. So whether it's a monthly or a bi-monthly email, just enough to stay present. And they know that those emails are there in their inbox. And you know what? All they have to do is go in and search, which is another great function of email, is they can search and they can type in the name of your business and it's going to pop up. And then they can click back through any of those emails because chances are they're probably just looking for an easy way to get back to your website, or they saw an offer or they saw a home that they were interested in. They know it's living in their inbox somewhere and they know they can get back to it. But the thing about offering blog posts and web pages in the content of an email is that it is giving the user, your guest or previous guest, extremely valuable, relatable, exciting, fun, important information. So maybe that looks like you have a blog post and it's about, let's say, what is something people love? Sea turtles. People love sea turtles, right? Everybody loves sea turtles. So if you have this great blog post on your blog and it's about sea turtles, and you say, here's some information you just might want to know because guess what? We have sea turtles here where our business is located, and we want you to know the information. It's educational information, and we want you to know like how to interact because we do have nesting sites in our area. So we want you to have the information so you can be a good citizen to protect our sea turtles. Well, people love sea turtles, so guess what they're going to do? They're going to click on that, and their kids are interested in sea turtles or their grandkids. So when that happens, when they're like, ooh, I like this information, it has nothing to do with the house, it has nothing to do with rental or anything like that. It's just fun information, valuable information. They click on it, and guess where they go? They go back to your website. Well, what's on your website? That's the place where they can book. So by transitioning them from the email back to your website, that's the goal. Sometimes that happens through, hey, here's ABC property, we think you'll love it, and they click through. Other times it's because, hey, we know it's coming, it's hot summertime, and we want you to have sun care information or hiking safety information or the best waterfall hikes around, right? Who doesn't want to click on that? So that is a way to get them back to your website. It's great for your SEO. Google loves it when you have website traffic coming in. That's fantastic. It's showing the value of content that's on your website because people are clicking through to it. And when you offer that information in the email, it keeps you top of mind. And what it can also do is once they're on your website, then inside that blog post, you can also guide them in different directions from directly in that blog post. Same thing for web pages. You can do that with your web pages. So if you have a web page that's your frequently asked questions, you could highlight that in an email. If you have a blog page that is, say, about linen services, you could highlight that. Or if it is about things to do in the area, you can highlight that. You can say, hey, we just updated our things to do in the area page and we want to share it with you. An email is a great way to share that with your guests. All right, I think we have one more. We have two more. Emergency communications. So when it comes to communicating with your guests, there are a lot of different ways to do that. You do have your welcome home functionality and welcome home complete, which of course is amazing. We have webinars about that and information, and that is an amazing tool to use. Sometimes, especially if you use a third-party marketing, you may be able to lean on them to do some of that emergency communication for you, or it may just be easier to use the way that you're communicating with guests and that list of guests that you've communicated with previously through your regular email marketing strategy. No matter how you decide to communicate with guests via email about emergencies, our recommendation is that you just have a plan in place, because typically with emergencies and or crises is that you don't have much time to prepare. So having a plan ahead of time, who you're going to need to communicate to, who's responsible for that on your team, making sure they're in an environment that's safe and protected so they can do so. But storms, here on in coastal North Carolina, and obviously down in Florida, we just experienced it with some of our clients. We have catastrophic hurricanes that like to visit from time to time, and we have to communicate with our guests. They need clear direction and information about what to do, whether they are due to arrive or whether they are currently in-house, and what they need to do to evacuate, and what they need to do about rebooking, whether or not they have travel insurance. So there's a lot of information that goes into that communication. Fires, unfortunately, happen, whether those are something like wildfires or whether it's a structural fire. A structural fire, especially like in multi-unit, just the one unit, you might not the fire may not have even affected you, but it's going to affect your unit because there's smoke damage, or you can't access it for some reason. Maybe there's some kind of municipal emergency. Maybe the water's out for some reason. That can happen, or the water gets contaminated. How are you going to communicate with your guest about that? The bottom line is, it is your responsibility to keep your guest informed, to make sure that they are in the loop, and that you have made every effort to communicate with them. And so sometimes multi areas of communication or multi ways to communicate with them, so that you have literally covered all of your bases. And again, we have reporting features inside of a VRM where you can pull information about who's currently in-house, who's coming and who's going to be booking in the next week, etc. So make sure that you know how to use those reports and that your team members know how to use those reports. All right, lastly, cancellations. Unfortunately, cancellation happen, right? It's just part of your business. It happens all the time. So what do you do when you have those cancellations? Well, I know what some of you do, because I see it. I see you'll post that up on your admin console so that your reservationists know that there's a cancellation and try to get that property rebooked, especially when it's some of your high traffic months or high traffic weeks. Obviously, you want to try to get those because those are your most valuable weeks and you don't want to lose that revenue. Well, one of the other things that you can do is use email marketing to send out a blast. As soon as that cancellation comes in and you're notified about it, you can send out an email or have your third-party agency, like your VRM marketing team, send out an e-blast. All you have to do is send them like literally the link. That's all you'd have to. If it was us, you just send us the link, say this property is canceled. It is now available for these weeks and we want it rebooked. We grab that. We send out an email on your behalf. We probably would add a few more properties in there, maybe make the cancellation one really big and have a few others really small. And in those small ones, it's because, well, if that first one goes ahead and books really fast, they have several other choices, or we have a button to say to similar properties, and you have a web group that's dedicated. Maybe it was a large oceanfront. And so we have a web group that goes back to your oceanfront property and say, click here for more, like this. So if they're interested, they're not out of luck, they can just click on the other link. Our goal would be to get that property rebooked as quickly as possible. And like I said, you can offer several other properties as well. And that is such a great way to get those things, this is revenue that you don't want to leave hanging. So that was our 7th way of how you can get and use your email marketing. But before you go, I do want to show you guys just a few more things. So like I already showed you, there is that comparison, the client A/B comparison that I showed you earlier. And this is the 2 pieces of email marketing resources that we curated for you, for VRM clients for the month of October. If you guys haven't already taken advantage of this, you can find the link to be able to access these in our social media accounts, or like I showed you at the top of the hour, you can actually find it in the slider on our webpage, our main homepage. Every month we're going to be having freebies, and I'm very excited to tell you that for the month of November, so here in just a few days, you're going to actually have access to some freebies that are super fun. They are not related to any kind of campaigns or anything like that. It's literally just some fun Thanksgiving printables that you can use and share with others, so you can tell other people how thankful you are for them and how grateful you are. So it's just a little bit of fun printable stuff that we want to say thank you to you for being our guest, or not our guest, I'm sorry, our client, but you can use it for your guest, your homeowners. One is going to be a super cute little foldable fortune cookie. All you literally have to do is just print it out on your printer. You can use regular paper or cardstock, and then you cut out the little fortune cookies and the little slips and then put them together, and you could put a little bowl of them up on your check-in desk, or you could pass them out to your team members. You could write in your own little slip inside the fortune cookie. The other one that we have for the month of November is going to be a sheet of postcards. So you can print those out. They're super cute, and you'll be able to print those, cut them out. They're just rectangles, and then be able to mail them or hand them out, pass them out to, again, your staff, homeowners, guests, maybe partners in your community that you work with, or other businesses that you love and appreciate in your business. So we're just passing on the love so you can pass on the love and gratitude to other people. All right, last but not least, I would not be doing my job if I didn't tell you a little bit more about VRM's email marketing services. So our services for email marketing are pretty simple. We use Constant Contact in order to communicate with your guests. That would actually be your Constant Contact account. It's not ours. We can help you set it up, but it's your account. You can use it as much as you want. And then essentially you hire us, whether you want 1 email a month, 2 email a month, or 2 emails a month, and every once in a while you might want to do an a la carte email. We can help with that too. If you want more information about that, all you have to do is you can head over to our website and you can click on Contact Marketing, or you can just send an email to marketing@vrmgr.com. If you can't remember that, just send something through the help desk and we'll make sure we get it into the right hands. Andrea, our new managing director, will be the one who reaches back out to you. I know you've already seen and met Andrea, but she would reach back out to you and give you a little bit more information and let us see if we would be a good fit to help you with your email marketing needs. And we have a lot of experience, and we have had a lot of clients be very successful with their email marketing, and we would love to help you as well. All right, guys. Well, I think we have reached the end. I am actually going to stop sharing my screen for now so I can see if there were any questions that came through. And I don't see any in the Q&A. So if you guys don't have any questions, I guess we are done talking about email marketing for today. For now. All right, guys. Well, we hope that you will be joining in on the Back to Basic webinars through the month of November. Right now, we are not planning a VRM Insider for the month of November. We're just going to kind of take a break from that. However, you will want to keep an eye out for 1099 webinar that will be coming up. We do not have a date for that yet, but probably looking towards the end of December, the very 1st of January. As soon as we have all the information, we will be putting together that webinar for you. We know you want that 1099 information in your hands as quick as possible. If you have any questions for us, any comments, please be sure to reach out to us. If it's marketing specific, again, marketing@vrmgr.com. If you wanted to send something straight to the help desk, obviously help@vrmgr.com as well. All right, so I won't see you guys for a while, but I hope that your holidays, the rest of your October and your November is absolutely fantastic. And from everyone here at VRM, we are so thankful for you. We're so grateful for you. And we just look forward to finishing this year off strong and being your continued software choice in the year 2023. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great day.